From us to you, brothers and sisters. Far in distant land, so it seems, trying to understand, hanging on to a dream. No sound, no silence, stop the empire. We can live in ignorance, they can live in gunfire. Brothers indeed, brothers for freedom, victory not defeat. No one comes to harm. Brothers in soul, brothers in freedom, knowing right from wrong. Oh, so it seems.
From Irvine to Bucha, Kigali to Kano, memory reminds of power. For our freedom, we'll strike a blow. A sense of distraction, a world gone to hell. No to seduction. Rebel.
Brothers indeed, brothers for freedom, victory not defeat. No one comes to harm. Brothers in soul, brothers in freedom, knowing right from wrong. Oh, so it's
Their bombs, their bullets, their shame.
Their bombs, their bullets, their shame. Their bombs, their bullets, their shame.
dancing on the people's
Their bombs, their bullets, their shame.
dancing on the people's
Their bombs, their bullets, their shame.
dancing on the people's
Their bombs,
Lifting the bullets,
their shame.
why dancing on the people's face?
their bombs, their bullets, their shame.
Brothers indeed, brothers in freedom, victory no defeat. Where no one comes to harm. Brothers in soul, brothers in freedom, knowing right from wrong.
So it seems,
Knowing right
from wrong. So it seems.
Thank you, dear viewers of concerned citizens of South Sudan. كما عودناكم كل سبت ببرنامج جديد. اليوم Ministerial Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. This is me, Abdullah Garan Kirdeng, and I host my brother, Jongkor Mayol. Jongkor Mayol is a host today. فزي ما انتم شايفين الأسبوع الماضي spokesperson of UCC جونكور مايول كان في أوروبا. شفته في Copenhagen somewhere with some brothers there in Copenhagen. اليوم نحن في City of Concerned Citizen of South Sudan حنناقش الأهداف من أجلها ذهبت spokesperson of Concerned Citizen of South Sudan إلى لوتينيا. الأخ جونكور مايور welcome بك في Concerned Citizen of South Sudan studio.
اهلا بك استاذ المخضرم عبد الله قرن، واهلا بالمشاهدين والمستمعين في كلاب هاوس الكرام في هذا اليوم المبارك. ارحب بكم. شكرا
جزيلا. last week الأخ جونكور أنت كنت في دولة لوتينيا في قمة سياسية رفيعة المستوى، فنحن اللي جبناك هنا عشان الناس شافت صور وبعض اللقاءات السياسية في لوتينيا. نحن هنا عشان نقول our viewers ما هي الأهداف. أنا بمشي بسألك بعض الأسئلة عشان نحن نوضح للمواطنين ما هي الأهداف هذه الزيارة. بعد ما انت حييت المشاهدين الاخ جونكور، ممكن تكلمنا ما هي الاهداف من الزياره؟
استاذ عبد الله قرن، مجددا اشكرك لاستضافتي في ممبر كونسيرن سيتيزن اوف ساوث السودان، لان اليوم انت الهوست، انت ماسك البرنامج. انا عايز اشكر المشاهدين مجددا، وعايز اشكر my dear brothers اللي كانوا في وفد دولة السودان الجنوبي للوتينيا في World Liberty Congress. أنا داير أشكر الأخ مبيور توت from Red Card Movement. عاوز أشكر الأستاذ دينغ مو also from 7 of October. and عاوز أشكر بنجامين واني and also عاوز أشكر توت جيكيني from SPLM for me. and Wani also from National Democratic Alliances. He's based in Australia. لحضورهم ووجودهم هناك كان مهم جدا جدا جدا. And I would like to thank my fellow Africans, who have attended this magnificent meeting in Lithuania, from Congo, Brazzaville, from Congo, DRC, from Zimbabwe, from Zambia, from Rwanda, from all over, the countries that have attended in Africa. Also, I have to thank, other countries like Nicaragua, Venezuela, Belarus, China, Hong Kong, and Tibet, Taiwan, and many, many, many delegations who came across the world. Actually, this World Congress of Liberty, countries were represented in this meeting were like 40 countries with a delegation of 139 people came all over the world for this very, very important event. So, and I would like to give a big thank to Dr. Peter Berajak, who initiated this program so we can be part of this. And also, I want to thank those who did not make it, because we have other South Sudanese who were part of this delegation, but for their own, situation that had happened, they called out and they were not able to make it to Lithuania. I want to thank them also for being part of this, and next time I believe so they'll be able to make it. So to answer your question, Ustaz Abdullah Garang, الأهداف نحن ذهبنا من أجلها إلى دولة ليثوانيا. World Liberty Congress actually is a global activists all across the world. هم شغالين من أجل يعني مثلا يجيبوا الاستقرار في الدول اللي بيحكمها الدكتاتوريين زي دولتنا دولة السودان الجنوبي ودول أخرى اللي أنا منشنت قبل شوية. فشغلهم إنه يجيبوا ديمقراطية and they have to working hard to topple the autocracy that actually are ruling this country and taking away the freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and freedom of economic development in these countries. So شغل بتاعهم شغل مهم جدا جدا. في ناس من مختلف الدول، في observers من لندن، من دنمارك، من ألمانيا، الولايات المتحدة. And it's composed also with a non-profit organization and NGOs, governmental organization like USAID, democracy. So في منظمات كثيرة جدا جدا represented. الهدف منهم إنه we can share the experience, particularly non-violent oppositions. Non-violent opposition, we can share all, experience and how we can topple the regime, autocracy regime in our respective countries. They'll have minute sharing ideas, exchanging the experiences. Sometimes I may feel, fight for South Sudan, fight for democracy is huge. We may feel it, we are in it alone, but actually there are other people who are fighting. Finas Tanin Kaman, they are fighting for freedom in Venezuela, in Belarus, in Hong Kong, in Rwanda, in Burundi, in Congo, Brazil, in Congo, DRC. There are so many people are fighting. We are not in this fight alone, but it's good that World Liberty Congress actually initiated this so it can bring all this non-violence opposition together, despite the fact that non-violent opposition they don't have to be on the same page. They are pragmatic too, in their opposition. But at least we can go there and share this experience, and then from here we can move forward. So الأهداف منا إنه to empower, okay, and to have more different mechanism and good training and how we can topple the regimes, dictatorial regimes in our country. Sharing the experience, that was the most important thing. Because, Abdullah Garang, silence itself, it is a violence. If we are silent, if we are not speaking up, if we are not enlightening our people with the issues that are happening, and then actually we are continuing to support the violence. Because when you are keeping quiet, that means you agree with what's happening, and that is support of the violence. So الأهداف كتيرة جدا جدا وأهداف مفيدة جدا جدا لنا. Thank you, and I can give you more.
Yeah, wow. 139 countries. That's a really, really big conference. So ما هي لو انا سالتك سؤال، انا سامعك انت قاعد تكرر موضوع بتاع non violent.
نعم.
Do you think non violent is the best option for South Sudan?
Yeah, Ustad Abdullah, thank you for that question. This question has come across a numerous time, and we in the United Citizens for Change, actually, we chose a non-violent approach. That is the best option to topple the autocracy in South Sudan, the dictatorial regime in South Sudan. Why non-violence is better versus violence? It has been proven across, okay? Even when I was on Lithuania in that conference, actually, we have experts, with the non-violence, and people talk about the violence. Experts and researchers are proving that actually non-violence, 7 out of 10 is likely to succeed, while actually a violent opposition, 3 out of 10 likely to succeed. And we have seen that. We have seen the example of Gandhi in India. We have seen here Martin Luther King. We have seen Nelson Mandela. We have seen what happened in Zimbabwe a couple of years ago. We have seen what happened in Tunisia. We have seen what happened in Arab Spring. That actually non-violence is the right approach. And violence is likely to destroy the little infrastructure that actually we have put in place. Is likely to harm you more, because when you are going with the violence, you are likely to kill somebody, and you are likely will kill. That actually can help you behind. So non-violence is the right method, and it is the right method for South Sudan, because we have seen that many times violence has been applied. Dr. Riek Machar, with his movement, SPLM-IO, was a violent, opposition. Athor was a violent opposition, and others, they were a violent opposition. What did they achieve during all these years? None.
Zero.
Move Salva-Kiir, okay? Al-Aqs, we destroyed more. More people have been killed, in our country. And that's actually an approach that we don't want to take. We need to mobilize people more, everyone to be activists, and bring the case of South Sudan to the light, to the world. What we are lacking actually is the South Sudan to be in big screen, is the South Sudan to be in CNN, to be in Sky News, to be in Al Jazeera, more and more and more over. Because moreover, when people are talking about the issue of the country and they are bringing to the light, you are likely to get more solidarity, you are likely to get more support, and that will help the case to grow and to bring the issue to an end. Issue of uprising, that's the non-violence. When you mobilize the citizen to go in the street and fight for the freedom, fight for the right, at least for the fundamental right, that actually will make a big change. So in our case in South Sudan, actually, non-violent is a right approach. And it's right approach.
شكرا
And it's
شكرا
right.
يا جونكور. انا اتفق معك تماما. نان فايلنت كان بي ذا بيست، لانه نان فايلنت ممكن انك تتحصل على الاهداف من اجلها انت كنت بتنادي بها، من غير ما يكون هنالك انت سببت النازحين في مخيمات، سواء كان زي ما الليله نحن بنشوف في جنوب السودان. المخيمات اليوم في جنوب السودان مليئه بالرفقيس South Sudanese. South Sudanese, they are refugees in their country. That because of violence. فأنا أتفق معك تماما بأن non-violence can be the best to achieve our goals and bring peace and stability in South Sudan. شكرا لهذه الإجابة. So أنت برضو ذكرت الموضوع بتاع الابرايزنج، نحن قبل كده حاولنا كويس. هل تفتكر ان احنا حنستمر في نفس المنوال، انه نحس المواطن على اساس انه يخرج لحقوقه؟ لانه موضوع التمديد والتمديد ما جابت اي نتيجه. ونحن حاولنا قبل كده انه نحن نعمل مظاهرات نون فايلنت يعني uprisings، لكن الحكومه واجهتنا بالدبابات وقفلت الشوارع والكباري وقامت قطعت الانترنت، فاستخدمت كل ما عندها من امكانيات. فهل تفتكر it's possible انه South Sudanese to achieve their goals by uprising until now? Yes, because it's been for a while. We didn't try it since August last year.
نعم أستاذ عبد الله جرن، أنا أشكرك على هذا السؤال. You know, when you start something, you have to have a determination. يكون عندك قرار، يكون عندك mental conviction in every decision that you make. Okay, you cannot say today أنا يا أخي أنا هنتظاهر وهنعمل to topple this government, and then all of a sudden لما يكون في مواجهات أنت تقول يا أخي no, this thing is not going to be doable. It is. It has been proven, and it will take time, but it's still, as long as you have that faith and conviction, actually you are likely to succeed. That will happen. More massive mobilization, because we need to mobilize more people, more massive mobilization, and more resources. When we are able, to talk about the resources, to get these resources, and people to people, talk. People are sitting in their couches. We talk to one another. That actually, this movement is yours. This is for you actually to get the fundamental right that you are lacking in our country. Our people will get the message. Abdullah Garang, 5 years ago, we were not in the position we are in now. When we are starting, people were laughing, right? People were laughing. People were saying that people were discouraging, okay? And I find it actually interesting. When people are discouraging you, that is the time actually you need to be more, emboldened, and that's the time actually you need to be more speaking about the issue. So actually it is doable, but we need to put in more resources. We need to put in more funding, with the resources that is small that we have, mobilize these resources in the grassroots level and with our partner as well, unity, of opposition. That's another thing that can bring all these things together. Because, Abdullah Garak, at the end of the day, we are suffering together. Okay, an average South Sudan is suffering. The question is, what have they gained since Kir became a president of the Republic of South Sudan? What did they gain? There is no good infrastructure in the country, mafi efficient education in the country. Okay, there is no freedom of expression. Alax, inama humma, the cliques in the government are the one that enriching themselves, taking their children outside, and leaving everybody else, to suffer. So that alone, it is a common denominator for the people of South Sudan to know that this country belongs to us and future belongs to our generation. And that is necessary for us actually not to be complicit in the state, but to speak up about the issue that are happening and not to be silent, because silent itself, it is a violent. Actually, it is doable. We need to put more effort and talk more and mobilize our people so we can do this together.
Thank you brother Jongkor. نحن في يو سي سي طبعا نحن ما ده بس رساله للمواطن المشاهد، نحن ما موافقين لفتره التمديد بسنتين اللي كانت اتفق عليها الحركه الشعبيه في المعارضه الايو مع الحكومه، لانه الفترات هتنتهي وهتنتهي. اذا الاخ جونكور نقول للمشاهد المواطن انه نحن في يو سي سي سوف نستمر في non violence revolution to achieve our goal in South Sudan, to bring really peace, to bring really government, to bring really president, سواء كان عن طريق الانتخابات او عن طريق hybrid او really حكومه متفق عليها يديرها ابناء جنوب السودان برؤى وطنيه خالصه، وليس بانه نحن بنجيب الرئيس بخط الايرادات بتاعت الدوله في مكتبه ويقسمه زي ما هو عايز. ده ما الاهداف من اجلها انفصلت جنوب السودان. جنوب السودان انفصلت من السودان الام، لكن للاسف الشديد الاهداف من اجلها انفصلت جنوب السودان الليله الحكومه الموجود شغال عكسه تماما. عشان كده نحن حنواصل في نجرب مره ومره والثاني حتى نحقق اهدافنا. الاخ جونكور انت ذكرت موضوع بتاعت الاوبوزيشن. انت زي ما شايف الان هنالك مبادرات هنا وهناك، سواء كان من الحركات المسلحه والحركات مثلا غير مسلحه. في احزاب كثيره في جنوب السودان، هنالك مبادرات هنا وهناك. Do you think the opposition has clear political mission or plan to bring change in South Sudan?
Yeah, Abdullah, is doable. Like I said from the beginning, احنا كمواطنون دولة السودان الجنوبي عندنا القواسم المشتركة. القواسم المشتركة بتاعنا انه البلد بعد ما اخذ الاستقلال المفروض ناس تقعد في تيبل واحد، اوكي، من كل القطاعات المجتمع المدني كانت تقعد في تيبل واحد and address where we move from here. That's what's supposed to happen, after 2011 when we gain independence. We're supposed to sit down on the table. القاده بتاعت اس بي ال ام والقاده بتاعت القطاع المدني واللويرز والدكتور والرجال الدين وكله، المفروض ده كان يحصل، لكن للاسف ما حصل. Okay, now this is what it requires. Since things have gone wrong in the country, I know the opposition are infected, with tribal sentiment somehow, and sometimes you will see it's very difficult, for them to come together. But since we have a common denominator, the common denominator I'm talking about, al-Qasim Mushtarak, we are talking about in India, lack of services in the country, and we already defined that at the UCC. Okay, war has been created by this current regime, corruption, which is grand corruption, and mismanagement in the country. Now, these are common denominator that we have as the people of South Sudan. Okay, since that's the case, it would be good and wise for all the opposition to put their own, interest agenda aside and look for the interest of the country. And if we are look for the interest of the country, and then we will be able to come together and topple this regime. That's what needed it. That's what needed it. It's not about who is going to lead and who is going to get what, but putting the interest of the country first. And if we put the interest of the country first, Abdullah, I believe we can come together and this regime of Salva Kiir, can be toppled in less than time that actually is supposed to be. That's what I see. But sometimes, the tribal sentiment that is happening and tying, some communities with the presidency and with the government, these are the tactics that are delaying what opposition is supposed to be achieving. But we have been advising for a very long time that actually the rhetoric that has been going on, whether in social media with other opposition, is not taking us anywhere. It's delaying it, and actually the government actually get entertained by this kind of rhetoric, and that's why the government is so emboldened to extend that it's not listening I know that it's listening now to the Soma, and I know they're supposed to be negotiating in Rome, but the government of Salva Kiir is involved right now, and it seems like to him that it doesn't care anymore. It doesn't care even about sitting with them to negotiate anything, right? That weakness that actually tribal sentiment, and people actually try to alienate or others. That's what got us to this position. But again, it's not too late for all sons and daughters of this country to come together and say, you know what, we got it wrong from day one. It went wrong in 2011, but now we should not continue to allow this thing to happen, because the future belongs to all of us at the end of the day, Abdullah. That's why I'm saying that the opposition has that an opportunity, to come together. Now, look, Kiir government actually has been going through difficulties, right? It has been going through difficulties. Now he has been invited to come to U.S. Africa Summit. They invited the head of state in Africa to come to Washington next year. Guess what? President Kiir is not coming. Don't you see that this is an opportunity for opposition, to bring the case of South Sudan more and more to enlight, to talk on the stage, international stage. Look what is president happening. Now he is what? He is kind of, embarrassing to come to the U.S., to come to Africa, U.S. Summit, because he has promised over and over again, and none of everything that he has promised have been achieved. He has promised that he will open the freedom of expression. And
do you think he will attend the summit in the United States?
He will not. Actually, I have my sources telling me that President Kiir actually is not coming. And that's an opportunity for all opposition actually to make case to international community. Jama, this is what's happening. This is what we have been dealing with. He does not want to take any advice. He does not want to back up. He does not want even to be addressed what went wrong in the country. He wanted to continue the same, way that he has been continuing. That's why he extended, and he will continue to extend it until it die in the power. But at the end of the day, South Sudanese, the future is belong to us, and that's why we need to come together and topple this regime. I don't want someone to feel that he's a master of this. His ideas is the only ideas that can bring peace. His ideas is the only ideas that people can ride behind. You and me and him and others, when we throw our ideas together, that's what can bring us together. Because all with the unity ideas, it's better unity. I remember the quote from President George W. Bush when he said, America has never been united by blood, but by ideas. But when you say that I am a historic leader, everyone should follow me. Everyone should listen to me. And anyone else should have not a say. What is the difference between you and the autocracy regime that we have in Juba?
Yes.
There's nothing between you and that. And that echo need to go away. That ego need to go away. And if that echo is no longer there, people of South Sudan will be able, to unite and achieve their goal. Because at the end of the day, Kiir regime is the only enemy of the people of South Sudan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jongkor. انت اشرت لنقطة مهم جدا انه التشبث بتاع القدامى المحاربين بتاع الحركة الشعبية بالسلطة، وهم دائما بيشوفوا نفسهم هم عندهم الأولوية. للأسف الشديد يعني gun class سواء كان A or B هم ما دايرين يعني يرحلوا من السلطة، ما دايرين يدوا يعني الشباب يعني جيل جديد، سواء كان الجيل الثاني بالحركه الشعبيه including الحركه الشعبيه ذاته، في الجيل الاول والجيل الثاني والجيل الثالث، ما دايرين يدوهم اي فرصه. فنحن في UCC يعني دائما نحن مع تجديد للافكار، تجديد للرؤى، تجديد لاتجاه بتاعت الدوله واداره الدوله. فنحن لسنا مع الجن كلاس اللي هو مثلا بيحاول انه يخلي جنوب السودان يكون في نفس الدوائر اللي مرينا بها منذ 2013 و16. نحن في UCC بنرفض هذا. بنقول للجان كلاس انه يدوا الفرصه لجيل جديد يعني يغرر مصيره، يغرر يعني الحياه اللي هو داير يعيشه. فده الزمن انه الجان كلاس is better for them to take a side and give a chance to other people to try their best. Maybe they will succeed better than them. And I am very, very sure the new generation, if they get chance, UCC and other political organizations in South Sudan. If they get a chance, they will do better than the government we have today in South Sudan. Huge government, many ministers without any opposition, 555 members in parliament, and they don't do nothing. So they didn't stop violence. يعني ابسط الاشياء، يعني الحكومه الكبيره اللي فيها رئيس وخمسه نواب و555 من اعضاء البرلمان و100 من مجلس الولايات ما قدرت انها تحل ابسط مشكله، مثلا بين نوك مع تويتش. ده مشكله بسيط جدا جدا. اذا كان الحكومه بهذا الكم ما قادره تحل ابسط الاشياء، اذا انا بشوف انه حكومه جنوب السودان الان الموجود ما حتقدر تستطيع انها تودي جنوب السودان للامام، فعليهم ان يخرجوا ويدوا الفرصه لناس ثانيين. الاخ جونكور، في لوتينيا انا شايفك انت قابلت يعني ناس كثير من ديفرنس من مختلف انحاء العالم، وناس young and very very young. ما هي الاشياء اللي انت ممكن خرجت بها، او ما هي الاشياء الممكن يعني يعمل اضافه لنا نحن في UCC والمنظمات الناس ما هي الاشياء الممكن يعمل اضافه حقيقيه لUCC والمنظمات اللي كانوا معكم في هذه القمه من جنوب السودان للتغيير؟ هل هنالك التماس شيء جديد، خطه جديد، ده مثلا او اي اتفاق جديد بينكم الممثلين مثلا في هذا البرنامج من جنوب السودان للتغيير؟ ما هي الفوائد من هذه المخرجات؟
شكرا استاذ عبد الله. الفوائد كثيره جدا جدا، وانا اكشلي انا يعني مسرور جدا بانه استطيع انه اسحب للأوتينيا to attend this conference. This conference has a lot of benefit. استاذ عبد الله زي ما انا قلت في بدايه البرنامج انه يعني تبادل الخبرات في نطاق activism that itself, that's a surplus to me, because as I said from the beginning, sometimes you will feel like I am this alone, but actually there's other people who are fighting, and their fight actually is more than the fight that we have. الفوائد اللي انا لقيتها من ده انه to elevate the level of discussion that we had here. نحن بنتكلم هنا في السوشيال ميديا as I said from the beginning انه دور غياب الاعلام في قضيه جنوب السودان، غيابها في الاعلام دي مساله يعني كبيره جدا جدا جدا. لان لو لاحظنا الان بنشوف القضايا الموجوده في الاعلام، وده في CNN وفي جارديان وفي واشنطن بوست، نيويورك تايم and all this، بنشوف قضايا بتاع ايران، بنشوف البروتست في ايران، بنشوف فنزويلا، بنشوف بلاروس، بنشوف يوكرين، دي الحاجات بنشوفها. انما الناس في جنوب السودان بيموت بالاف كل يوم، انما الديكتاتورشيب في جنوب السودان يعني بيسرق كل يوم and they are enriching themselves. But this القضايا دي كلها are not coming to the light. القضايا دي are not coming to the light. So I feel that that's a surplus to talk to the world stage and letting them know that يا جماعة هنا we need to be looked at. We don't want you to feel like South Sudan is unheard of. South Sudan is existed and it has been there, and there is a lot of suffering for the people of South Sudan. What needed attention. But how it happened, how that's gonna work though? It's gonna work لو أبناء البلد، لو أنا وإنت وغيرنا نتكلم من الموضوع. لا زي ما أنا قلت قبل silent is a violent. لو نحن بنسكت ما في زول يعرف عن قضيتنا ولا في زول يتكلم عن قضيتنا. When you see something happening in South Sudan, they are shooting people like what happened in Unity State last time. They are rounding up people and shooting them. Take that photo and tweet it. Tweet it to somebody. Tweet it to Gary. Tweet it to Leopoldo. Tweet it to those celebrities, who care about the human rights, who care about democracy. Tweet it to them. نحن كلنا عندنا mission. We supposed all to be in a mission, right? نحن كلنا we supposed to be activists. But some of us will say, no, Jongkor will do that, Abdullah will do that, and I'm not doing it. And then we are not going to go where. And you've seen ليه قضايا بتاع إيران ماشية فوق، لأن كلهم يعني بيتجاوب مع قضيتهم وهم ماشيين فوق. يا أستاذ عبد الله actually الconference I benefit more يعني I would say like more training, more task forces other than anything else. لأن أساسا كان في يعني في task forces في القضايا دي يعني قضيه بتاع autocracy okay في البلد الانت and sanction and all these things. هل is it working? We brought those issues to the light. Actually, if you want to kill the snake, you don't hit the snake from the tail, you hit the snake from the head. انت لو ده تقتل الثعبان انت بتضرب براس ما بتضرب من ذنبه. What sanction that have been applied, international community has applied sanction لحكومه بالتاكيد. sanction ده بمشي لوين؟ لنائب وزير الدفاع ولا للسكرتير ولا مين ومين والشيف ستاف ارمي. Are they affected with this sanction? No, they are not affected with this sanction. Okay, what needed to be done for this sanction to be affected? Okay, this sanction are going to be affected. لأن الليلة ده لو في حكومة دي ناس بولميل وناس سلفا كير وعدود بيتو وعناق وغيره قروشهم كله ماشية كينيا. If you are imposing sanction للناس sanction ما بيأثر and you are not following them like sanction report مرة اللي فات طلعت report بين القروش كلها الناس كلها قروش في كينيا they bill mentioned they bill all these things and then it's not going to go where. That's the area that we need to talk, and I stress that a lot actually with the world, Congress Liberty. ليه؟ لأن الليلة ده لو نحن عملنا سانكشن لحكومة تأكيد، أنتوا عملتوا سانكشن لحكومة تأكيد، الحكومة الأمريكية عملت سانكشن لحكومة تأكيد، okay? And Kir is still traveling to Nairobi. Kir is still using KCB Bank in Nairobi, still transferring the money. They still use
cash. They took cash money.
Yes,
cash money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then they are not affected. And then they are not affected with that. Like if you follow KCB, if you follow Kenyan, Kenyan actually are the dealers between here. Nas fi Dubai, Emirat Al Arabiya Al Mutahida, they are the dealers here in between. If you follow these people, and then it will be effective. But if you are not following them, it's not going to be effective. And actually, Ustaz Abdullah Garang, that's what I'm going to focus, in my next, segments and episode. I am going to focus on KCB. I'm going to focus on family of Salva Kiir. They are the one that have the money. They are the one that doing all these things. I'm going to
نقول لك بس نقطة بسيط. في واحد يعني بدون ذكر الأسماء من جنوب السودان شال قروش كتير في الشنط. قام مشى بهم دبي. لما مشى بهم دبي فالسلطات يعني مخابرات جزء منها يعني مخابرات عالمية قام أوقفوا نازل ومسكوا القروش. فالناس الموجودين في دبي مثلا الحكومة بتاع دبي قالوا لهم يا أخي انتوا ليه جايبين القروش ده بخطوط جوية؟ انت المفروض تقولوا لنا نحن نرسل لكم طائرة خاصة. فإذا دبي ذاته جزء من الكوربشن بالمناسبة، لأنه القروش بتاع جنوب السودان بيسحب إلى دبي بموافقة حكومة دبي يعني بدون أي مساءلات. إذا زي أنت ما قلت السانكشن ما هيؤثر في الناس دي. Go ahead.
Yeah, sanction ما يأثر. Thank you Abdullah in the Egypt اللي and also Ustaz Abdullah هو يعني it has something issue of moral. يعني مثلا let's say we're talking about the United States, we're talking about UK and الدول الكبيرة دي أحيانا الإنسانية زي ما بنقول الإنسانية ما فيها تجزية. اوكي الديمقراطية برضه ما فيها تجزية. اوكي والترانسبيرنسي ما فيها تجزية. لو نحن بنقول يا الناس في جنوب السودان ناس متأثرة بأوتوكراسي رجيم اللي بيسرق مال بتاع الشعب والشعب منهك والشعب بيموت كل يوم وكينيين بيتعاملوا ديلرز والإماراتيين بيتعاملوا كديلرز اوكي والشعب تعبان. This also speaks to issue of morals because you cannot say that I'm going to have a good relationship with Emirates and at the same time Emirates is doing something wrong. ما بيجي صح؟ لأنه it speaks to issues of moral and that's why I'm saying that for the next time we need to focus on those two. لأنه this is where they take our money. قروش بتاعنا بمشي بقصروا في دبي. The Kenyan are the one that using our money more because Kenyan are the one that enables Salva Kiir and others to use more corruption because they are the one that dealing between this. So these are the things that I'm taking away. But the good stuff that I take away from this conference actually is to fight more because don't give up your fight always. And this is how I have been because we have to be fighting. When people are saying that, please don't do this. Uprising is not going to work in South Sudan because South Sudan is a tribal and all these things. Come not بيكتبوا الكلام ده مرة يا عبد الله كثيرين بيكتبوا الكلام ده ليه؟ These people they want to discourage you. But when people are trying to discourage you, that's the time actually to have courage because we are a people of moral courage. With that moral courage, we continue to fight and we continue to do what is right. Okay? And media, like I said, and I'm focusing more in communication. That actually any citizen, when you see something, you need to report it. You need to tweet it. You need to put it in Facebook. We need to take photos, photo luxury, all the things that they are doing, and then we have to shame them. That's how we can be able to bring the case of South Sudan to the light. Also, I benefited issue. Also, there is a Magnitsky Act. They introduced that in the conference. The can يعني Magnitsky Act lawyers Canada, okay, they were able إنه الناس remove money laundering, remove money around from country to country. إنه لو أنت عرفتها شركة من كندا ولا من دول الكبيرة دي involved with corruption in South Sudan, we need to bring them to the light so they can follow that. Few group of lawyers actually, they are working with that. They can appoint a pro bono lawyer, okay? They can appoint pro bono lawyer and they can make case against these leaders, against the corrupt leaders in South Sudan. You can make a case here in the United States. You can make a case in Canada. You can make it in Australia. You don't have to go to South Sudan to make that case. You can make it anywhere. More training, unity, issue of funding. And funding actually is so important. Like, for instance, Abdullah, I have been doing this here with concerned citizens of South Sudan, talking about the important issue. We know that our people, majority of them, don't read, don't write. That's why we have to do this live video. And the live video will be shared among our people. People will learn through it. And then when they learn through it, it will be an awakening call, open their mind, and they can do this. But that's not enough. Why I'm saying that's not enough? Lanu, what I've learned from Nicaraguans, what I've learned from Venezuelans, what I've learned from people, Belarus, opposition, Hong Kongs, and all this, Tibet, Thailand, what I've learned from them, they support one another. They fund one another. For instance, somebody, volunteer to be activists like myself and like yourself. They get people who are supporting them. I pay internet monthly. I pay software for the StreamYard to do this live video so the information can get to my people, can get to South Sudanese. Why would I do that? Because I love South Sudan. Why would you do that? Because you love Sudan, because we care. But if the citizens are wise enough for somebody to support you, like for instance, there is a conference coming up, Africa-US Summit next month, and I wanted to go, and I don't have, and I have family, okay, to support, and I don't have a ticket, and I don't have a hotel, and I don't have all these things, but I want to be able to share the information. I want to be able to go and raise the case of South Sudan. Where am I going to get support? I don't have any support. But if the citizen, collectively putting their hand together and said, oh, you're doing this, do that, we support you in that. Abdullah is doing this, we support you in that. That actually, it can help. And this is what Iranians have done. They have done so in Europe, the Iranian diaspora. They've been doing that. They are working together. And just stay away from tribal sentiment. Because at the end of the day, Jama, ma fi fawaid min al-qabiliya, wala fi fawaid. Who is the beneficial? Beneficial is the regime in Juba. And the regime in Juba actually is entertained to divide people so they can stay more in power.
Yes.
That's why we want to quit that. We need to be more aggressive. We need to be more aggressive toward the regime with the non-violent approach. That can work, and that will work. لأن أنت لو ده تعرف ليه أنت بس خد نفسك في مكانه يا جماعة القواسم المشترك بيننا شنو؟ قاسم المشترك بين someone from Madinawul, someone from Bibor, someone from Yei, someone from Rang. القاسم المشترك بينهم شنو؟ القاسم المشترك بينهم دايرين مويه نظيف. هنا دايرين مدرسة
المعاناة.
Yeah, okay. How can we overcome this? We can overcome this if we come together. لأن at the end of the day, أوروبا اللي أنا مشيت فيها دي tribe. أوروبا tribe. أنا كنت راكب قطر من كوبنهاجن، أنا ماشي المطار. في نفس القطر اللي أنا راكب فيه عبد الله، في زول من سويدن بيتكلم باللغة السويدية. في إيطالي بيتكلم بإيطالي. في واحد إسباني بيتكلم بإسباني. في واحد من النرويج بيتكلم بالنرويجن. في واحد من فنلند بيتكلم فينيش. في زول من دول Baltics speaking their own language. So Europe is a tribe, actually. They are speaking and no one is complaining and they are able to get along. So what divide people actually are the resources, because if the resources are not allocated in the right manner, okay, that's what it is. And Salva Kiir actually have succeeded to do that, because autocracy, that's what they do. They create a circle, they create that ring of circle among themselves to protect them so they can move money around and make people suffer so people can just support them. And that's why you see some people in South Sudan actually supporting them. It's not because they love them. It's just because they are suffering. They don't have any other choices. They want to get paycheck. They do want to leave. But we can reverse that. We can reverse that with mental conviction, with the faith that actually this is our future, this is our country, and we have more to gain than pushing Salva Kiir out. We have more to lose than keeping Salva Kiir in power. And they have done it in Zimbabwe. They have done it in all these countries. And we are able to do it. And we can do it, actually. So I have learned more. The thing that to take away: experience, training, okay, and working together. تبادل الخبرات, okay, and keeping fighting. These are more training. We need to train our people how to spread the message. Spread the message. Communication. And I really adamant about this in communication. لأن القضية بتاع جنوب السودان is not in world stage. It's not أستاذ عبد الله. CNN ما قاعد يتكلم عن جنوب السودان. اوكي اي نيوز ما بيتكلم عن جنوب السودان، الجزيره ما بيتكلم عن جنوب السودان. الدول اللي هو بيتكلم بو they are not suffering like South Sudan. جنوب السودان زول بيموت بلقمه عيش، لكن هل مثلا بيلاروس زول بيموت بكلام لقمه عيش؟ لا. اوكي هل في دول دي زول بيموت بلقمه عيش؟ no. لكن because we are not doing the right thing. But if we do it, we will win, and we will win together. Nobody can win alone. We will win together in this suffering. And I think these are the benefit that I take away from there. It was so beneficial, actually. Thank you.
Thank you, brother Jongkor. This was يعني انت جاوبت على الاسئله بصوره يعني مؤسفه جدا انه وضعنا الليله في جنوب السودان مقارنه بالدول الاخرى. نحن بنعاني اكثر. يعني اول حاجه في الدوليات بتعاني، انت مشيت يعني دول كثيره بتلقاهم عندهم مستشفيات كويسه، عندهم مويه نظيفه، عندهم يعني مدارس، لكن للاسف الشديد يعني انت لو طلعت من جوا مشيت الولايات، انت لو شفت المستشفيات الموجوده يعني تلقى المستشفى يعني مستوصف من قش، يعني ما فيه غير الدرب والادويه الاوليه بتاعت الوجع بطن وكده، لكن ما في فحص. يعني المواطن بيموت بابسط الاشياء.
نعم.
لكن الاخ جونكور انت زي ما قلت يس جنوب السودان غياب من الميديا على المستوى العالمي، وانا تساءلت كثير جدا السبب شنو؟ وانا اتصلت في زمن بتاعت ان احنا كنا بنحاول فيها نطلع للمظاهرات في السنه اللي فاتت. انا اتصلت بمراسل الجزيره في الخرطوم.
نعم.
مراسل الجزيره في الخرطوم هو مراسل الجزيره في الخرطوم وفي جوبا الاثنين معا. انا اتصلت عليه وزول ده يعني انا بعرفه من بدري، ما معرفه جديد، انا بعرفه قبل زمان كنا في الخرطوم. لكن للاسف يعني اظن انه ناس الجزيره مثلا عندهم توجيهات انه ما يتعاملوا مع اي شيء
نعم
له علاقه بجنوب السودان، سواء كان بشر او بغير. فقط هم قاعدين يركزوا في السودان، لكن جنوب السودان ظل من يعني منسيه.
because they are مباشره. هم اساسا في فوائد مباشره من حكومه جنوب السودان لهم. وزي ما انا قلت لك في دول الجزيره العربيه الان اوكي يعني we are suffering as a شعب okay but they are not, they are gaining more now. They are trying انه يصيروا اراضي في جنوب السودان، يزرعوا الاراضي دي on expenses of the شعب. and that's why نحن نكون يقينين okay تماما انه we have to expose those countries. We have to expose those countries. We have to expose Kenyan Emirates. This is the one that affecting us more. ده السبب انا قلت قبل يا اخي الانسانيه ما في تجزئه، الديمقراطيه ما فيها تجزئه، اوكي؟ العداله ما فيها تجزئه، طالما ما فيها تجزئه. That's why we have to talk. Even with American, I ask a very direct question because it's a moral issue. لان انت لما when you are dealing with Saudi Arabia, you are dealing with the Emirates, okay? Deal with them. You are dealing with them in a dual كويسه ودول at the same time they are doing something bad. You are dealing with Kenyan and Kenyan are doing something bad. So what are you talking about here in terms of morals? What? Okay? They are affecting us on the way of
yes.
فنحن ما نسكت، نحن ما نركز في كير بس، نركز في كير مع اسرته، مع الكليكس اللي حوله، مع الناس اللي عاملين دوشه دي ينقل قروش وحاجات دي، والدول اللي بيتعامل معاهم. Lana has proven again this sanction that have been imposed on them is not working. It's not working. Lana Kenyan are dealers. Okay? Kenyan are dealers, are bringing whatever they want. So they didn't care. And now you see that Salva Kiir is emboldened. Who am I? لدرجه انه ما جاي لانه he's so embarrassed to come to US Africa Summit. It's not coming. He's not coming.
He went to Emirates. He went to Emirates last 2 weeks, but he doesn't want to come to United States.
Yeah. ماشي امارات، ماشي دبي، ماشي ابو ظبي، وما بيجي امريكا. امريكا الامبارح لو ما امريكا عمل بريشر لحكومه بتاع سلفا لحكومه بتاع بشير، ما كان في ريفرندم في جنوب السودان. لان عارفين الكلام ده تماما، ما كان فيه. ما هي نفس الدول دي اللي كان بتحارب جنوب السودان، اللي هي ما كان عايز جنوب السودان تستقر، اللي هي ما كان عايز جنوب السودان تنفصل، نفس الدول دي. لكن سلفا كير doesn't care about that. Of course care about the benefit now. He's rewarding himself. He wants to stay there until he dies. So this is a golden opportunity for us to raise more case. شوف نحن نقول للناس friend of South Sudan, look what happening. You are even giving him an opportunity to come, and explain, and try عشان يطبل علاقات بينه. لكن he's adamant because he knows he is getting away with everything. Why are you recognizing his government? Why are you recognizing him? His term of his government is coming to an end in February. Why are you recognizing?
Yes.
Okay. This is the question that we should ask Americans. This is a question that we should ask international community. Why? Look what he has done. He has killed people. He has done this. And if you said you are a friend of South Sudan and you care about South Sudanese people, why would you deal with someone who is actually harming people of South Sudan, who is killing them actually, who is taking the freedom away from them? Why are you doing that? At the same time, you said you are a friend of South Sudan and you are standing with the people of South Sudan. وده السبب نحن في UCC واذر partners South Sudan بنقول انه القروش المعاونات اللي بودوا لحكومه جنوب السودان المفروض ما تمشي لحكومه جنوب السودان، المفروض تمشي للمعارضه. لان المعارضه هي المفروض هنا القروش تمشي لها، لان في النهايه they are using this money to benefit themselves for their own salary to enrich themselves. and الشعب ما بيلقى اي حاجه. الشعب ما بيلقى حاجه. نسبه الكرايم يا عبد الله as I speak with you، انا سمعت خبر مؤسف جدا جدا اول امبارح. brother بتاع ناي تشين روج تشين روج القاعد معانا في السوشيال ميديا ده، his brother was killed simply because he sent money here. He sent money here and his brother received money عشان يمشي يساعد بول الاسره. Look what happened in Medina Awul. Look what happened now. 3 individuals عاملين فيه they are robbery. ايش بتاع جانج هذا انتشر في البلد. ليه؟ لان دي شباب دول ما عندهم اي حاجه ياكل، والانسان لما يكون جعان بيكون the worst animal.
بيكون وايل.
ماشي شنو؟ ماشي عملوا كمين للراجل ده وقتلوه في الشارع عشان يشيلوا منه التليفون ويشيلوا منه القروش ده. الكلام ده كان بيحصل لو عندنا دوله قانون، ولو في استقرار في البلد، ولو في بلد مثلا كان افر لقمه عيش للكل، كان الكلام ده بتحصل. الكلام ده ما بتحصل.
خلاص جونكور، طبعا انت عارف نحن دوله جنوب السودان ما دوله فقيره من ناحيه الموارد، والانتاج بتاع البترول اليومي يعني لو انت قارنته بعدد السكان بتاع جنوب السودان كافي جدا انه المواطن في جنوب السودان يعيش في كرامه. لكن للاسف الشديد الموارد البسيطه الريسورس اللي تجي من البترول او ايرادات بتاعت الجمارك او غيره ما بتصل للمواطن. القروش دي يعني بينتهي هنا بس في J1 يعني توب جنرالز الوزراء، يعني ما بتصل للمواطن. كيف القروش يصل للمواطن يا جونكور اذا كان ايرادات البترول بودوه في J1؟ ايرادات بتاعت بدل ما يمشي كانت لسنترال بانك ووزاره الماليه يقوم يوزعوا كمرتبات للولايات مثلا. يعني انا لو اخوي شغال في البيت، انت عارف ان طبعا ساوث سودانيز اور اول سودانيز، لو في زول واحد شغال ولا نفرين ممكن الباقي الناس يكونوا ياكلوا وما بيكون محتاج عشان يمشي يقتل زول عشان موضوع بتاع $100 or $200. That is so is very bad in we here in South Sudan. Our country in mess, and we as son of South Sudan, we have to do our best to rescue our country, to bring change and make our citizenship to live in peaceful like others citizens. So موضوع هذه الامارات الناس اي زول الناس بيسمعونا دي لازم يخطوه في اهميه. دي دوله بتعمل كونفيوز من اجل مصالحها وما بتهم الشعب اصلا، لانه اصلا هم نموذج بتاع الديمقراطيه ما عندهم ديمقراطيه. زي النموذج بتاع الديمقراطيه ولا شيء. فهم دائما بيعملوا كونفيوشن عشان يستولوا على الموارد بتاعت الدوله. وانت زي ما شايف مثلا الان في السودان، يعني هم برضو هناك عاملين اشكاليات، يعني عاملين مشاكل بين المعارضه والحكومه هنا وهناك. نحن ما دايرين الكلام ده يحصل في جنوب السودان. الاخ جنكور، في لوتينيا انا شايفك انت صورت مع عدد من الناس، فانا داير تكلمنا who you met in Lithuania in this conference, who they are and where they are from, you know.
شكرا استاذ عبد الله. Actually in Lithuania زي ما انا قلت قبل, conference attended by 40 countries and 139 delegation coming from all over. We met very high profile celebrities pro democracy like, you know, Gary Kasparov, Leopoldo of Venezuela. Leopoldo is here in Washington, in the United States. Actually, that's the guy that won the election, you know, in Venezuela. He's here. And Gary Kasparov طبعا معروف باسم chess master, كان طبعا winning of the chess, and he's pro democracy. He's a Russian opposition. Also we met with the Ukrainian ambassador كان معنا موجود, and one prominent member of parliament in Lithuania كان جا كمان اسمه Mayol, and activists from Iran, Mashadi, the lady that always in CNN, you know, she was there. We met also with Anne Applebaum. She's a journalist and very famous, and many more. يعني conference زي ما أنا قلت لك, it was more technicals than, you know, than just فكثيرين هنا قابلناهم, and our fellow African. انت شفتها, انا عملت interview with Bobby Wines also in that conference, and many more official from, you know, Lithuania, and official observers from UK, from Germany, from Denmark, United States, members of USAID, and some lawyers from the United States of America, pro democracy. كثيرين يعني, في اسماء كبيره جدا. USAID بالذات كان موجوده هناك, ونحن وجهنا لهم اسئله كثيره, لانه دائما هم بدوا قروش سايد لمنظمات, and they forget the focus actually on the people, because what we need people of South Sudan to be empowered, not the government, not just individuals who are harboring, moving around. لان الناس اللي بيشيلوا قروش بيكونوا في جيوبهم, والناس اللي لسه تعبان. Okay, that's not what we want. We want our problem to be, we want to solve our problem. So مواطن يعيش حياة كريمة. Okay, لكن أما الناس زي الفلوس زي they not just they are running after their own interests. Okay, عشان كده أنت ما حصل مرة أنت شفت الناس تمشي تذهب لconferences وزول جاي يتكلم عنه. هل قبل كده شفت زول جاي ماشي يتكلم عنه يا جماعة أنا مشينا وتكلمنا عن كده وكده وكده benefit? How many South Sudanese attended the conferences? Thousands. You know, they are running for their own interests. As long as I'm going with USAID, ماشي هناك ودوني خلاص. لكن no, that's not what we are all. That's not what we are yearning for. We are different. We are a very unique United Citizen for Change. We are very unique in our case. We are not looking for position. We are looking for decency. And that's why لازم نملك أي مواطن, أي معلومة اللي احنا بنلقاها, أي حاجة الكويس اللي بيودينا لقدام. That's what I stand for, and that's what United Citizens stand for. And actually, that's why I'm saying this conference, it was so beneficial, because I get more training than ever, especially when it comes to issues of nonviolence and violence, because it has been proven on this training that actually nonviolence is more effective than violence. It's more effective than violence. And that's the approach that we needed to take. Again, أنا بكرر لكل مواطن سوداني الجنوبي غيور, إن أنت anything tweet it. نحن كلنا نكون رسل لقضيتنا, نتكلم كلنا نتكلم. Trust me, زي ما نحن we fought together for 22 years. قضايا بتاعنا في UN وين بنكتب وبنمشي في عواصم أوروبية وعواصم إفريقية, we were able to achieve الهدف. لكن when you use to be silent, that means you're supporting violence, and we are not going to go anywhere. Kirda is emboldened, but we have the tools to remove him, and that tool must be activated now. We can activate that just word of mouth. You speak. ونحن ما نخلو الميديا, نحن هنتكلم. Actually, I have more energy than ever before right now, and I'm asking my fellow South Sudanese, If you have anything that you can support me, to progress and take the case of South Sudan to the next level, please do. Don't hesitate. Anything that you want to support, please do. If you love the country, if you love what we stand for, and if you care, that's what you need to do. That's what the spirit of brother in freedom can do. زي ما بابي واين مشى Ukraine ومشى عمل أغنية ده قبل شغلنا لكم ونحن we will play at the end of this program. brother
ينكور بالموضوع بتاع بوبي وين. طبعا في كلام يعني انه بوبي وين هو ضد ساوث سودانيس في يوغندا وهو الوفاة انه حيطرد النازل وكده، لكن في اللقاء اللي انت عملت معه ف was different. هو ما قال الكلام ده، فانا ما اعرف ماذا التمس من مثلا اللقاء ببوبي وين في سياساته مثلا تجاه جنوب السودان كزعيم المعارضه في يوغندا وعنده شعبيه.
نعم استاذ عبد الله، شكرا. انت جبت الموضوع ده. بابي واين راجل طيب جدا جدا. This is a propaganda machine of M7 is the one that doing that. Is Museveni is doing that actually. Okay. Now you know what? We were infected by Museveni. And Museveni is the one that actually destroying South Sudan, along with Kenyan, along with Emirati, along with NCP. They are the one. Who are كويس إن جنوب السودان في فترات نحن وقد أخذنا استقلالنا. If we move toward democracy, this democracy will be exported to Uganda. هيمشي هيتوكل ليوغندا. هو ما عايز الكلام ده، وده السبب هو he interfere with the affair of South Sudan. He become more advisor to Salva Kiir, okay, using his own army, to interfere in the issue of South Sudan. So Museveni is the one that doing this propaganda. But this الراجل ما عنده مشكلة مع جنوب السودان خالص، لأنه هو عارف نحن الناس مع بعض وبنشare common purpose في الحدود. We've been there for a long time. We have very good interaction actually with Bobby Wine on that meeting in Lithuania. And actually, sure, when I go to Washington, D.C. next month, I'll meet him again. And actually, I will, looking forward to meet Evans Kamisa from Zimbabwe, the man that actually led a huge protest and removed the dictator Robert Mugabe. Actually, we'll be able to meet him next month. And potentially, we can have an interview with him as well, because we need to share the experience. And that experience, that what can get us there, we'll do. So Bobby Wine, actually, the cool allegation, and they are not true, that he is not an anti-South Sudanese. That's why I asked him that question, actually, particularly. I asked him that question because I wanted to make sure. And we have a sideline meeting too. We talk with our African, delegate. We have a regional meeting with Congo, Brazzaville, with Congo DRC, Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi. Many people may not think that Rwanda must be a dictator. Rwanda, actually, there is a lot of things going on there we did not know. Local delegation, there are so many things that are happening in Uganda, in Rwanda too. Shifter, for it was good. And Morocco, we have a delegation from Morocco as well. So this is a very good, conference indeed. So Bobby Wine is not anti-South Sudanese, and he's not, and he will never. Okay.
That's good. Thank you, Jongkor. نحن ناولنا يعني نقاط كثير جدا عملنا كفر اب للزياره بتاعت سبوك بيرسون اوف UCC to Lithuania، وفي القمه اللي هو مشى حضروا هناك. انا عندي سؤال اخير، لكن برضو انا دايرك يا اخ جونكور توري مشاهديننا مشاهدي كونسنسس اوف ساوث السودان ولا ممبر حقنا نحن الموجودين في جنوب السودان وعندنا ناس في خرطوم يعني everywhere. طبعا نحن يعني المجهودات دي كلها من اجل التغيير، انه نحن لازم يكون في تغيير، ونحن رافضين موضوع بتاع الاكستنشنز 2 years للرئيس سلفا كير ميارديت which will start on February 2023 for another 2 years without no program. فأنا داير ترسل رسالة المواطن في جنوب السودان and مجهوداتنا نحن what we are doing and how we يعني نحن كيف نحن نعارض هذه الفتره بتاعت السنتين ورؤيتنا مثلا شنو؟ لانه في ناس بيقول يا اخي يو سي سي طايبه من برنامج المقترح من سوما. طبعا غيار بتاعت سوما هم طارحين برنامج بتاعت المائده المستديره، طارحين البرنامج بتاع المائده المستديره. برضه هم عندهم مجهودات في روم شغالين مفاوضات. فنحن الناس بيقولوا غياب. فانا داير ترسل رساله للمواطن في جنوب السودان انه نحن في يو سي سي we are doing our best and we have our own way to stop what is going in South Sudan. الموضوع بتاع extension an extension ل 2 years more. And the second, I want you to take both of them because we're going to conclude. What can UCC do differently after attending the World Liberty Congress in Lithuania?
أستاذ عبد الله، أنا أشكرك كل الشكر من أجل هذا السؤال. والنقطة اللي أنا داير أركز فيه أول موضوع بتاع اللي هي الراوند تيبل، المائدة المستديرة كما أشرت إليه. أستاذ عبد الله، إحنا في يو سي سي بنوع من إيمان قاطع بأن إحنا عايزين التغيير السلمي والتغيير الإيجابي. إحنا ما من أجل السلطة، مش عشان أنت تبقى وزير وأنا أبقى وزير وغيري يبقى وزير ودنجي يبقى وزير وندي مريال يبقى وزير ولا موسى يبقى وزير. No, that's not our mission. Our mission إنه يكون عندنا استقرار في بلدنا. Our mission إنه يكون في fundamental right that guaranteed by the Constitution of South Sudan, Article 24, Article 25, but rewriting the Constitution, drawing a line, creating stability in the country, and have an opportunity for economic growth in the country, and have a general election. These are the main. This is what we want, and these are the core values that South Sudanese fought for nearly 22 years. أما بالنسبة للمائدة المستديرة اللي أنت بتتكلم عنه ده يا أستاذ عبد الله كرم، الجروب اللي بينادي بمائدة مستديرة، why are they calling for that؟ ده بعد ما هم وصل لطريق مسدود مع الحكومة، بعد ما هم وصل لطريق مسدود and quote and I mentioned this، بعد كده نادوا بده. They are trying to find, avenues to negotiate their way in. We know that. How are you going to call for a change at the same time you are negotiating with the autocracy regime that actually in Juba? What kind of change are you looking for? Are you really looking for change? And you want a reform? So you are negotiating in Italy, like Sant'Egidio,
they are going in this 28. They have.
That's what I'm saying. That until you are negotiating with the government, انت في المفاوضات مع الحكومه. طيب, if you strike a deal with the مفاوضات مع الحكومه, what's going to happen? You are going to be part of that government, right? So is that the change? Is that the change that we are looking for? Is that the change? For how long? How many times Salva Kiir have struck a deal with opposition? He struck a deal with Addis Ababa, 2015, with Riek Machar. What happened to that one? It fell. He did not implement it. He struck a deal in 2018. What happened with that deal? It was not implemented. The same Salva Kiir initiated national dialogue. What happened with the result? He did not implement it. Same Salva Kiir, they initiated Arusha. What happened to that Arusha? Nothing happened. So, Ana Bugulek Bel Ahra, my brothers from the other side, they are trying to negotiate themselves in. That's what I know. But you know what? We cannot fool ourselves. We cannot fool ourselves. We know what Salva Kiir is doing and his regime, what they are doing, we know. لو ده غايب عنهم ده ما قضيتنا. But we in UCC, we believe in decency. We believe in drastic change. That's what we want. We don't want to negotiate ourselves. عشان نبقى وزراء، عشان نمشي عينون السفير وعينون نائب السادس ولا نائب السابع. No, that's not what we're looking for. We are looking for real change in the country. That's what we want.
Yes.
عشان القضية دي تحل سلميا وتحل finally. We don't want to sign a peace deal and بكرة Tani Salva Kiir is not implementing that peace agreement, and then people are going to jungle again and fighting over and over again. For how long are we going to be fighting? For how long are we
Yeah,
going
you're right. You're right, الاخ جونكور. انت براك شايف الاتفاقيه اللي ابرمت في 2018
Mhm.
الليله في جوبا. رياض مشار is not able to go to Lologo القريبه ده، ولا تمشي يمشي قنبه والشركات الا
Correct.
باذن مثلا من 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 الرئيس.
Mm.
فبرضه الحوار الوطني اين حوار الوطني؟ حوار
Yeah.
الوطني is the best. ده افضل حوار يعني انا قريته تماما. ممكن يكون the only way to rescue South Sudan today.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And even يعني you mentioned a very good point. We were against حوار الوطني لأن الحوار الوطني الهدف منه سلفا كير قصد إنه شنو to divert attention from peace agreement 2015. هو هدف منه أساسا عشان ما يعمل implement the peace agreement. لكن العكس الشعب جاب نتيجة ضد ما كان ينوي إليه. يعني هو قال يمكن الشعب كان يقول يا سلفا كير يا أخي أنت استمر وأسفل وياه بابا كير وياه وكده. لكن الشعب قال لا نحن تعبنا. عشان بلد to move forward, Salva Kiir and Riek Machar must exit political life. شعب change. فهو يتحير يعمل شنو؟ قام شال الخطاب في الدرج وقام شنو بدا ثاني باتفاقيه ثانيه ما يسمى بخرطوم للسلام. مش جاب رياض مشار من confinement in South Africa. That another tactic. So I don't understand. My brother from Soma, okay, كان اسمهم سوا وبقى في سوما ومنهم من السوا بقى جوا يعني عندنا حسين عبد الباقي وغيرهم قاعدين جوا. So is that what they're looking for? They're looking for another fragile agreement. What is it? What is it? You know what? We better learn from mistake that happened in the past. Okay? Don't do the same thing and expect different result. It's going to be the same. ما هو نفس السالفة كده. هو بقى منو بقى كويوم يعني. ما هو نفس السالفة كده. اوكي نفس السالفه كير ذاته العمل ديل مع رياض مشار مرتين. نفس السالفه كير العمل لناي ناشونال دايلوج. نفس السالفه كير بتاع روسيا. نفس السالفه كير المشى لبوب في باديكان. نفس الزول ده.
Yes.
It has been proven over and over and over again. He is not willing. The only way he is to exit. The only way is for all of us to, to advocate in Salva Kiir. His term it's over a long time ago. It has been extending and extending and extending, and it's not working. And it's not working. In February 2023, Salva Kiir must give سلطة للشعب. ما في أكتر من ده. There's nothing أكتر من ده. حتى ولو قال فيها election that he cannot run for the election. That's the only way can be a solution. Salva Kiir, Riek Machar, they cannot run for any election. Any election that Salva Kiir is going to run, any election that Riek Machar is going to elect, is not going to be credible. It's going to be rigged, and we are going to be in a bloody war again. And we don't want that. We don't want that. We need change for good. We need change for good. So our brothers, if they want to continue with the same, tools that
same direction of IO, the same direction of IO,
and it hasn't worked in the past and continue to fail. that نحن نعمل negotiation وطيب لو كير قال خلاص نعمل negotiation وتعالوا ونحن نيجي نعمل فترة انتقالية وبعد كده نيجي نعمل. طب what guarantee that Salva Kiir is going to implement what you agree with؟ إذا كان هو ما عمله امبارح what guarantee that؟ ما تريكا دين كانوا موجودين، دين كله كانوا موجودين. What guarantee that Salva Kiir ما هو داير دخلهم جوا ما دخل سلفا دخل رياض مشار جوا وخلاص ويحصل ما يحصل. That's what it is. So we should not bother. Those brothers here, they think, they have a magic touch. They have a magic words. Whatever they say is whatever they're going to bring the solution. But what we say, we are smaller. We are little boys. We came from nowhere. But I wanted to tell them, Jongkor was a little boy too. He came from nowhere. Wala kan jana sultan, wala kan jana faqih, wala kan jana bishop, wala kan jana inay. But his ideas galvanized the deal. And we were able to achieve the common purpose. And we got it. ولولا سلفا كير الموجود الآن في السلطة جنوب السودان كان من الدول الناس بتتكلم عن economic growth in East Africa. But actually it's doable. We will do it. But we need to learn from the past and change that. Okay? ما نخش بعض. ما نكون ضد بعض. لا. Violence is not a tool. And we have said that. Violence على إنه تقتل المرأة وتخلي جانا يبكي. أمه قدامك قال عشان انت this is the only way that to hear the feeling عشان هم يتغيروا. No, that's not a good way to bring change to your country? No. So if they wanted to continue with that, let them do what they wanted to do. But we will continue. Okay? We are unstoppable. People may think, oh, these people are غايبين في الساحة ما قاعدين يعمل حاجة, but we are working and we will continue to work. I want to tell my fellow South Sudanese people, future is yours. Future is yours. Salva Kiir, as long as he is there will be no change in your life, in your children's life. ما بكون في تنمية في البلد. ما بكون في freedom expression. ما بكون في decency. ما بكون في حياة كريمة. It has been there and hasn't changed, and it will never change. So you got to get up. You got to have that feeling. هل ده بلدي أنا حاربت من أجله؟ ده بلد الأنكل بتاعي ولا عمي وغيره حارب من أجله؟ You know what? Enough is enough. You tell yourself, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Okay, I'm dying. But you should not let that happen. You should not let that happen. You need to support us. We need to support you. And together, we can win. Together, we can win. Together, we can remove Salva Kiir. And I know that United Citizens for Change, from attending this conference, we are going to be focusing more in media, and use more experience that we have gained from our colleagues from the region, from other, and bring the case of South Sudan to the world stage. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do, especially right now. The dictator, is emboldened, and he's not even listening to friend of the United States, the friend of South Sudan. He's not even coming.
Mm-hmm.
He was honored to come, actually. He had that opportunity. He should have taken that opportunity, but he's not coming. This is the time for us to stress more and talk more about this, and focus on Kenyan and focus on Emiratis, those who are draining our country, and those actually who are trying to take advantage of what's happening, of weak leadership that's happening. We need to focus on those. We need to focus on those because we can see the future is bright. That future is bright. I think this is what I can tell my fellow South Sudanese, to be alert, because future is ours. Thank you so much.
شكرا الله Jongkor Mayol for your comments. يكون واضح مثلا للمشاهد UCC United Citizens for Change أي تغيير في جنوب السودان يخلي مثلا كير يستمر في السلطة ورياض مشار نائب 5 نواب بتاع الوزراء، نحن ما قبلانين به. ده لازم يكون واضح للناس، لأنه حيكون ما في جديد. هنمشي هناك يدوك نائب نمرة 6 نائب نمرة 7 وسيد بريزيدنت كير
ولا يعملوك رئيس الوزراء.
ايوه هو مستعد يعمل 10 نواب بتاع الرئيس واي واحد يمشي بالنجده، لكن بس يكون قاعد في السلطه، بس هو يكون قاعد في السلطه. يا بعد ذاك يكون عنده الموارد بتاعت البترول، بعد ذاك يدي الزول الدايرو ما يدي. نحن في 2018 we support that peace. نحن نقول يا اخواننا better peace is better than war. نحن قلنا يا اخواننا دو خلاص نحن اتفاقيه بتاع 2018 عشان الناس تمشي انتخابات وعشان الحرب تقيف، لكن اللي حصل شنو؟ ما في اي تغيير. هل يا جونكور انت شايف في تغيير حصل من 2018 في جنوب السودان حتى الان؟ لا، البلد ماشي للأسوأ. اذا ما في فائده من اتفاقيات والتمديد. الاخ جونكور مايول شكرا لاجابه على كل هذه الاسئله والتوضيح للزياره اللي انت من اجلها مشيت للوتينيا. انا دايرك تدي يعني كلمتك الاخيره للمواطنين في جنوب السودان and everywhere. بعد ذاك نحن will end this show in 10 or 15 minutes. Go ahead.
يا كلمتي الاخيره استاذ عبد الله واضحه زي ما انا قلت from the beginning. هنا حكومه سلفا كير اللي كان وعدت في يوم الاستغلال انه in our watch مواطن بتاعنا ما يقطع الحدود ويمشي دوله ثانيه because of war. سلفا كير وعد بانه he will not be a reason for people of South Sudan to cross because of the war. سلفا كير وعد بانه شعب جنوب السودان هيستقر وهيكون في تنميه. سلفا كير رفع الكونستيتيوشن في يده وقال if you are corrupt انت ما عندك مكان في حكومه بتاعي، ولكن الكلام ده كان كذبا. سلفا كير قال يا اخي الناس ما يقطعوا الحدود عشان الحرب، ولكن هو خلقت الحرب في 2013. اوكي، سلفا كير عمل corruption في البلد. Because of Salva Kiir, we have lack of services in the country. For evil that we introduced. Because of Salva Kiir, we have war in the country. Because of Salva Kiir, we have corruption, massive corruption, okay, and mismanagement. So, what do you want to do, my fellow citizen? Do you want to continue with the same person that have got you to this position, or do you want to take a different approach? Salva Kiir بينقض المعاهد، المعاهد والعقود. مضى السلام في 2018 2015 وما نفذوا. مدى السلام في 2018 وما نفذوا. عمل ناشونال دايلكت وما نفذوا. عمل اروشا وما نفذوا. مشى روم وما نفذوا. ما في فورجيفنس. اوكي، نفس السلفا كير ده ما زال في السلطه. نفسه هو ما زال في السلطه. نفس السلفا كير في اديس ابابا 2017 قال يا اخي انا نخلي السلطه الانسنتيف بتاعي شنو؟ انا اخلي السلطه ليه؟ والفائده شنو؟ فائدتي شنو؟ نسى انه الفائده انه لما هو يخلي السلطه لانه هو السبب بتاع الخراب، انه الشعب هتستقر وهيكون في تنميه وهيكون في فريدوم. اوكي، نسى انه ده انسنتيف للشعب. نفس السلفا كير ده اللي هو قال خلق كوميونيتي فايلنت. اوكي، خلق نيرات الحرب في البلد في الكوميونتي بيبور ده مع تويتش وده مع نوك وده مع إكواتوريا وده مع لوانجان وده مع غوك. نفس السلفا كير ده نوير في مايو مناك. نفس السلفا كير ده الخلق شنو؟ حروبات مجتمعيه قبليه من اجل هو يقعد شنو في السلطه. من اجل هو يقعد في السلطه. is the same person and we haven't seen any good result. نفس السلفا كير ده انه ابناء المحاربين في الحركه الشعبيه، الناس اللي ماتوا من غير ما يلقى انسنتيف بيشهر في شوارع جوبا. ارامل بتشهر في شوارع جوبا. نفس السلفا كير ده enrich his family بنته انوك وبنته ادود وهو مرته ينديد وغيره ومرته صغيره شول وغيره كلهم in the country and they are taking the wealth of the nation outside. نفس السلفا كير ده جاب المؤتمر الوطني كان بيضربنا بالقنابل في جنوب السودان. المؤتمر الوطني اللي كان اعلن الجهاد فينا ياو بتحكم الان ياو داك توت كيو وغيرهم ياو نفس السلفا كير ده. فانت لازم تقرر زي ما قررت مصيرك تقرر مصيرك من سلفا كير. لان مع سلفا كير جنوب السودان هيكون رماد ما هيكون فيه اي حاجه. نفس السلفا كير اللي هو قال لو في حروب مجتمعيه اللي هو خلقته قال يا اخي I will surround myself with this small army and you guys can fight and whoever defeated بعد كده يجيني بعدين وما يقولوا هو الراجل. نفس السلفا كير.
Yeah, he said he will not care if you are fighting.
Yeah.
يعني انت تموتوا تحيوا هو ما شغلته زي الحاجه الحاصل الان في تويج مع نوك وفي تونج محلات كثير جدا المواطنين يعني they fighting they killed themselves والحكومه ما قادره تعمل اي حل. Go ahead.
نفس السلفا كير يا ده قاعد في جي 1 بيقوم تيك اوف بيأجر طائرات اجنبيه Rwandan Airlines, Ethiopian Airlines, Kenyan Airlines. اوكي، وياهو في الرنج ولا في يي ولا في يامبيو ما بيمشي بيشوفك ولا بيطلع ستيتمنت لما الناس يموتوا كان في فيضانات ولا امطار ولا النار ولا غيره وما فاضي. يعني نفس الزول ده عشان كده اللي احنا بنقوله ده من اجلك. انت عارف لما يشوفونا نحن بنتكلم نفس السلفا كده لما يشوفنا نحن بنتكلم كلام اللي بيوعيك وكلام اللي بيخليك تستاند اب فور يور رايت بيقولوا الناس دي باعوا البلد.
لا هو قال المشاكل بتاع جنوب السودان من الفيسبوك يا جونكور. هم يفتكروا انه المشاكل بتاع جنوب السودان من الفيسبوك. نحن عندنا شنو؟ نحن لا عندنا ميزانيه ولا عندنا جروج بتاع البترول ماسكينه ولا نحن مسؤولين من المرتبات بتاعت المواطنين ولا نحن مسؤولين من الامن. انت الحكومه المسؤول من الامن بتاعت المواطن، انت اللي عندك ايرادات بتاعت البترول، انت اللي بتعمل corruption وبتعمل insecurity and then you say دي الناس بتاع الفيسبوك. That is not correct.
Yeah, that's him. لأن ليه؟ لأن هنا we are so noisy to him. لأن سلفا كير هو ضد التعليم والتعلم. لأن لما someone is speaking to someone, to his fellow countrymen, يقول لهم ده غلط والصح كده، ولما enlighten people عشان يعرف الصح، أنت عدو. لما تكون عدو بالنسبة له هو بيشوفك أنت عدو للدولة. لأن الدولة ده بيشوفه هو he own it. That's why he's saying that الناس زي ضد الدولة باعوا الدولة برا. العكس، الزول اللي بيسرق دولة هو اللي باع الدولة برا. الزول اللي بيشيل موارد يدي لناس ثانيين وما يديم للسيتيزن بتوعهم، ما يعمل مدارس وما يعمل مستشفيات، ده العدو بتاع البلد. فأنا I want to tell you my fellow citizen, it is a time for you to wake up. It is a time for you to wake up. Silence is a violence and we have no time to waste. No time for negotiation. Money negotiated. You don't do the same thing and expect different result. It's going to be the same. Reform will never work with Salva Kiir. He has failed. He has failed miserably, and he continue. And deliberately have done it, and deliberately he continue to do it.
Yeah.
He want rules until he died. Salva Kiir, we have to remove him with non-violence approach. I really will thank you for tuning in and being part of Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. I think that's what I can say. And thank you, Ustaz Abdullah.
Thank you, Al Jongkor Mayol, the spokesperson of Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. نحن الليلة كنا معاكم عشان نوضح الزيارة بتاعت عضو Concerned Citizen of South Sudan للمؤتمر اللي أقيمت في لوتينيا. فنحن تكلمنا عن الأهداف من أجلها تمت نحن حضرنا القمة، الأهداف شنو نحن مشينا هناك، بعد ذاك الفوائد والمخرجات من هذا المؤتمر، وكيف إنه المؤتمر ده يدعمنا في الفترات القادمة إنه نحن يعني نقدر نستطيع إنه نصل للأهداف من أجلها، وهي التغيير في جنوب السودان، وكيف نحن نقدر نواجه حكومة جنوب السودان ب يعني وسائل حديثة، سواء كان الإعلام أو عن طريق التحالفات الجديدة نحن لقيناها في هذا المؤتمر. فدي كانت الهدف من هذا البرنامج، وتطرقنا ل يعني مواضيع أخرى. فأنا بشكرك الأخ جونكور مايول for your coming and للاستوديو for your coming to the studio and talk to our members of Concerned Citizens of South Sudan everywhere and talk to our citizens in South Sudan. So نحن بنقول للمواطن United Citizens for Change we are working. نحن بس ما دايرين نسبق الأهداف للخطة كيف نحن نقدر يعني نواجه الفترة بتاعت التمديد في 2023 شهر 2. we are working. نحن لسه بس ما دايرين نسبق الأحداث ونعلن نحن شغالين شنو. But we are working and it will not going to be very easy to the government of South Sudan to pass that in extension for 2 more years. Allah Jongkor Mayol, thank you for being with us today, and see you guys in the next week for with a new topic, new faces, and we will continue. Shukran very much.
بلنا جمال من زمان يا ربنا جالي جبريانا بلنا ما برجعنا سودان مجاجا ما برادينا يلا بيتي بيننا ربنا.
نحن بس قلنا نختم برنامجنا بكلمات بتاع جوردون كونغ، بلدنا تعبان من زمان يا ربنا، تعال شوف عيانا، بلدنا سودان مجهجه، جنوب السودان مجهجه. شكرا مستمعي Concerned Citizen of South Sudan، والى ان نلتقي بكم في الحلقه القادمه في برنامج جديد. شكرا جزيلا.